Money Monday. Here's a question for you. How do you remove yourself from someone else's debt? Well, maybe you co-signed a credit card for your child, or maybe you bought a car with your ex-husband, but now you want your name off of those items. Joining us this morning to talk more about it and the challenges that it comes with is Certified Financial Planner Joe Bert. Always great to see you.
Morning,
Thanks
Amy.
for coming in.
Good to be
All right, so let's talk about it, because a lot of this impacts millennials. These are parents who are stuck at maybe perhaps dealing with a millennial who still needs help,
right,
and maybe even an elderly parent who now needs financial help. That can be a real problem for a lot of people.
We call that the sandwich generation, because you're squeezed in the middle. You're trying to take care of your kids in some regard, you know, and
right,
the millennials are those between 21 and 34. And then you've got your parents that are in their 70s and so forth, and they're having the financial difficulties because they didn't save for their situation. And you've got all that's going on right now.
Sure, or maybe your parents were the victims of the housing market collapse, and all of a sudden they don't have the money that they used to. It can be a real issue.
Exactly.
So what do you do if you say, okay, I'll help you out, I'll sign this loan for you,
right,
and then you decide later on, oh, that wasn't such a good idea?
Well, you have to remember, the minute you sign on that line, you are in fact responsible. So it's going to impact your credit score, because your credit score looks at available credit, and then of course payment history. And if the major, your son or daughter, whomever borrowed the money, you co-sign on it, if they default on it or are late, it's going to impact your score, and that's a big challenge that you have. So you got to remember, when you're signing on it's just as if you're doing it, but you're putting the responsibility in somebody else's hands.
And not only does it impact your score, but will the debt collector come after you and say, will you owe me that monthly payment?
Yes, because if the child doesn't have any assets, they're going to go after anybody who has assets. And so it is in fact a challenge. And you can't get generally you can't get your name off of a loan unless the loan's been paid off, because why would a lender remove somebody who has some assets and has good credit for somebody perhaps that doesn't? So it's a very, very difficult situation before you do it. And it comes into play with student loans.
Right.
Kids want to buy cars, all this kind of stuff.
All right, so what do you do? Do you have to hire an attorney? Do you have to go through a legal process to get your name off of a document like that?
Actually, there's no way to do it. You can't get your name. The lender is generally not going to take your name off. The only way you can get your name off is if there's no balance, okay, and the account is closed.
Which, at that point, it shouldn't matter anyway.
The point here is, I think, is before you sign on that dotted line, think of the ramifications, because the minute you sign it, it's going to impact your own personal credit score, because your credit score looks at, once again, how much available credit you have. Now you just got more credit, and of course the payment history. Yeah, it's exactly just like you're doing yourself, but now you're giving the responsibility to somebody that you don't control. Moms and dads, be careful.
For sure. Be very careful. Joe, how can our viewers find you?
Just once again, Google me, 2 words, Joe Bert, B-E-R-T.
Great to see us all.